Save big on select LG appliances at Lowe's. Right now, shop deals on top items like the stainless steel kitchen suite featuring a counter-depth refrigerator with extra large capacity and dishwasher that washes and dries dishes in just 1 hour. Plus, get free delivery when you spend $396 or more. Visit us in-store or online today to bring home LG appliances for less. Backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Exclusions apply. Exact products from qualifying retailers only. See Lowe's.com for details. Offer ends 3/8.
Welcome back, Namaste, bitches. I am Melissa Feaster, and I'm here with my girl, Teresa. But guess what, Teresa? Real quick, before they hear your amazing, beautiful voice, guess what? Namaste, bitches merch is here. Yay! You guys, so excited. We have the most amazing, kick-ass, badass black hoodie and a long sleeve tee as well, but they are very limited edition releases. So you literally have to get it while it's hot because they won't be here forever. You guys go to our Namaste Bitches store. And also, besides our merch dropping like it's hot, Teresa, we have another amazing surprise for our Namaste bitches today. And what is that?
One of my besties, Jennifer Aydin.
Whoa!
The crowd goes
wild. For the cheap seats in the back, you guys, it's Jennifer Aydin from the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yes, that's her signature. I don't even know how to do that.
Come on. Tongue action going, Trey.
Wait, we went out Saturday night and I'm like, Jen, make that noise that you make, you know?
What is it again? Do it again. Now, Teresa, recreate that.
Yeah, I can.
Jennifer, here's the difference. I've been trying to work with Teresa for a while on the tongue action. So we need to get it a little stronger and then we can probably get into that noise. Wait, Jennifer, is that your call to Bill when you're ready, like to do the do?
No, it's definitely not. And I will say, actually, I learned how to do the chant from Bill. He does it better than me.
Why is he doing the chant to begin with?
Well, in our culture, that's what you do in our culture. Like when there's a blessing, when the bride walks down the aisle in a Middle Eastern wedding, like as she's walking down and her beauty is passing you, everyone who knows the chant, like, and gets the culture, they'll all do it at the same time. And you chant, like, and also, like, you know, when they put the crowns on you in an Orthodox wedding?
Yeah.
That's when you do, you're almost like calling onto a blessing. It's a calling for a blessing, and just, it's what we do at weddings. And Bill would take a microphone and he would do it so loud. And I'm like, oh my God, my mom does it.
No.
I never used to know how to do it. And then my mom was like, you should be ashamed of yourself that your husband does it better than you.
Step up your game.
And now I do it too. And now we do it together.
And they also do it at bridal showers. Remember? Both of you, remember?
Yep. We do it at bridal showers. When we're giving her like the gold, when you put
we did it at yours.
Yes, hello.
Yes. Like when it's
and everyone will see it on the Housewives.
Yeah. And like also like it's our culture. When the bride leaves her house, she has to be picked up by the groom's family. Otherwise, she's not allowed to leave her house. So the groom's family comes to the bride's house like a stampede, and everybody is, and you dance around the bride, and then you take the bride to the venue. But the bride is not allowed to leave. So fun fact, when I got married at the Westmount Country Club. I had 600 people at my wedding.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
In our culture, the man pays for the wedding.
Isn't that awesome?
Skippy.
Yes, because he gets the bride.
Boom.
And I lived in Long Island, and Bill's family were coming from Jersey because that's where they were staying. And Bill lived in Manhattan. So Jersey has our biggest church, our Syrian Orthodox church. So we got married there. They were late to come pick me up. And my church started at 4 and it was 3:00 and they still weren't at my house and I wanted to leave.
They make the bride wait?
Well, so they were late because we invited so many people from out of town and my in-laws paid for everybody's hotel room. That's why everybody wanted to come.
I need to marry Bill.
right? And then when they knew that my in-laws were coming to pick up the bride, so to speak, everybody was like, oh my God, you're going to pick up the bride. And it's such a beautiful thing to be a part of. People would be like, can we come too? Is there room? Can we come too? And my father-in-law, this is his mentality. These people took time out of their lives to come here for this wedding, even though we paid for our doll. And the gesture that we should do in return is just wait for them because they want to participate. So waiting for one. Oh, wait, you waited for their, can you just give me 5 more minutes? Waiting for them. Waiting.
The whole wedding showed up to pick you up.
And then when I called them at 3:00, they were just leaving or like they hadn't left yet. And my church starts at 4. So I told my mom, I want to leave. Let's just go. The Rolls Royce is here to take me. I don't need them. And my aunt, who was visiting from Turkey, was like, absolutely not. If they don't come and get you, you are not going. And that is my final say. And I was like, oh my God.
This is the worst day ever.
Oh my.
Wait a minute. Back then, you guys had a Rolls Royce, even then?
What do you mean even then? She's only, how many years you married?
20 years. But it wasn't like we didn't own the Rolls Royce. Let's just like facts here. We rented it. Like the bridal party all got limos. And my dad and I got the Rolls Royce. And then I really was hell-bent on having a horse and buggy. But the horse and buggy only goes 3 miles. So I had to have the Rolls Royce take me to around the block of the church where the horse and buggy was waiting for me. Then I had to get onto the horse and buggy with my dad, and the horse and buggy brought us to the church.
I think I went to my wedding church in a Honda Civic. So similar situations.
I was going to get the Rolls Royce, but my theme was Shakespeare in Love. So I got the Excalibur.
What is that?
Oh, that's very similar. It's also very, it's a theatrical looking car, beautiful, antique, but it definitely makes a statement. When you pull up in it, you're like, what is that? Google it. Google it. Props to my driver because I have no idea who he is, but the car that we had, the driver, it's not on the left side of the car. The steering wheel was on the right side of the car. It was a weird car. And because there was so much traffic from Long Island, we didn't leave my house until 4. We ended up leaving my house at 4 and my church started at 4 and I was an hour drive and it's Sunday traffic. Sunday, the LIE at 4:00.
Wait, so what time did you get there?
Well, my driver was awesome. He had a honk. The honk on his car was dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
that was his honk. So he drove down the LIE on the shoulder the whole time, beeping the horn. Dun, 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 dun. Like literally we were going through a toll from the Easy Pass once we got to Jersey and he broke his side mirror. He was trying to get me to the church on like so fast. I got to the church at 5.
Oh my God.
And my cocktail hour started at 7, that's why we didn't get any pictures before we got to the reception. And everybody was in a bad mood. And I was crying because my husband's cousins were mean to me.
Why were they mean to you?
My one's husband cousin that I made a bridesmaid in my wedding. I called her to say like, you guys didn't leave yet? And she was like, giving me an attitude. And she's like, I don't know what you want me to do. And she hung up on me. And I was just like, who the fuck made me put this bitch in my wedding?
Why did you even put her in your wedding?
Are you kidding? On my 3rd date with Bill, Bill never proposed to me. He never proposed. We spoke on the phone for about 7 weeks trying to get to know each other. He finally asked me out on our first date. Finally.
How did you guys initially meet in the first place? Online?
No, at his brother's wedding. His brother got married in California. And he was the best man.
So you actually physically met him there?
Yeah, I met him there. I mean, our families knew each other because my father bought jewelry from his father. We're retail and they were wholesale. And when you're from the Syrian Orthodox community, everybody kind of knows each other. Even if I don't know you, you could tell me your last name and what village your parents are from. And probably my family knows your family. So my family knew his family. We were invited to the wedding. A lot of my husband's extended family that lived in California were also invited to the wedding. The wedding was in California. And my mom wanted to take me to the wedding because she was hoping I would warm up to this other guy who asked for me, but I didn't like him. I mean, he was very nice. I just wasn't attracted to him. And I told my mom I have to be attracted to the guy that I'm going to marry. So my mom was hoping that I would warm up to this guy because he was also going to be at the wedding. But then when I saw it's so funny. So listen to this. So we see my husband-in-law, right? And I'm talking to my aunt. And my aunt is trying to persuade me to give the guy a chance, the one that I don't like. Because she's like, you know what? I didn't like your uncle when I first met him, and now I love him. So maybe we should just give him a
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, no, I want someone that I'm attracted to. I want someone that's handsome. Like, I don't care if they have money. I don't.
Let me at least see the penis. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I still don't like you.
For me, it's like the eyes. It's always about the eyes, you know, like the swagger. Like, is this guy got charisma? So I remember when we were at my brother-in-law's wedding, and they announced the whole bridal party, and Bill was the best man. So when they announced him and he walked out, I remember my aunt nudging me and her going, "You want handsome? He's handsome."
Ah.
Right? Did you think he was handsome?
I thought he was so handsome. And I was just like trying to play it cool. Like, I was like, and then my mom turned around and she goes, "Forget it. That village, they only marry cousins." I turned around and I said, did I even say I wanted to marry him? I didn't even say I liked him. Like, what do I care?
I'm so cool.
Too bad I'm not a cousin, right?
So did you talk to Bill then?
He said hello to me. And then he knew my brother because he knew that my brother did business with his family. So he said to my brother, like, "Welcome. Thank you so much for coming all this way." Like, so prim and proper that he was. And then P.S., the next day, the guy who liked me was blowing up my brother's phone nonstop. And my brother was like, what should I tell him? I'm like, you better ignore that fucking call. You better not even tell him I'm getting a facial or something. I don't even feel like going out. And my brother was like, "Oh, really?" Because that guy, Bill, called me and he asked if we wanted to go out. And I was like, well, if you want that, I'll do.
I guess I can suffer through that.
So like we were going to the Cheesecake Factory because Bill was going there for his cousin's birthday and he invited my brother. He said, "Why don't you come and bring your sister?" So I get
Bill was not in a relationship at all.
No. And Bill knows the drill. Bill knows that he cannot solicit me unless he has serious intentions. That's how it is in our culture. Because if I was to date him without serious intentions, my family name could be shamed. And then I would be tainted. And then let's say any guy moving forward liked me. And if it came out that I dated without the promise of an engagement, that person's mother would be like, "Oh no, we don't want her."
Basically, if you just hooked up.
Yeah, we can't. No hooking up. No, honey. No. We got to play the role. We got to be on our best behavior.
So then how do you have one night stands?
No. I mean, maybe now they do, but back then, like they will not marry you. They won't marry you. Like their mothers won't let them marry you. Like mothers are very.
So they're like, no hoes allowed.
You see
the factory to meet him in Pasadena, and my brother's lost, and he's in a rental car, and he's like, "Can you pull up his number on the cell phone?" And I said, "Mike, the only bill you have in here is 917. He's like, yeah, that's him. I said, "Why is he 917 if he lives in California?" He's like, "No, Jen, his family lives in California. He's a resident at St. Vincent's in Manhattan." I was like, yes.
Thank you,
Oh
Lord
my God,
Jesus.
I got to get this guy. I got to do hook, line, and sinker.
Go, baby.
And sure enough, I was my ever pleasant, charming self at the Cheesecake Factory. And at the very end of the night, he whispers in my ear, "When you get back to New York, call me." And I just like kind of yesed him. And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell my family because I didn't want them to get all excited. We talked on the phone for 7 weeks before he finally asked me out. I thought he was gay. I really did. I said,
In 7 weeks of like, no, like, show me your titty, nothing?
nothing. It's, "Hi, how are you?" And of course we had like chipper conversations, you know, because I'm very long-winded.
No, come on.
So I kept him, interested. And then finally, once he knew that he liked my personality, he was like, "Why don't we go out to dinner?" We go out to dinner. Best night ever, sushi samba. But at the time I never ate sushi. And then we had such a good night. He was like, "What are you doing Saturday? Do you want to go to AC for the day?" And I said, "Sure." And he actually tried to like feel me up in AC. And I was like, dude, like.
Because it's Atlanta titty. That's why he felt you up.
Hello, you guys talked for 7 weeks. He thought he knew you.
I know, but I said I know because I can't risk being shamed in my family name if he's not married.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
When we're at the end of the night, like we're at this restaurant and he looks at me and he's like, "You're going to be my wife, right?" And I said, "Well, I hope so." I'm like, "I don't know. I hope so." And I was like so happy and giddy. And he even lost money at the blackjack table in front of me. He lost $2,500 in a matter of 20 minutes. So I then proceeded to tell him, "You know what, babe? I'm going to just walk away because I feel like I'm bringing you bad luck." And he grabbed my hand and he said, "Don't you dare leave my side because sometimes when you lose in gambling, you win in love.
I love that.
You're like, okay, can we go have sex now?
He did not say that he lost the money. He was just kissing my hand and holding my hand. And then he said,
What a smooth operator, Bill.
what are you doing next weekend? He's like, my friends that are Asian, they're getting married in Chinatown. They were residents with him. He's like, would you like to go to a Chinese wedding in Chinatown? I said, hell fucking yeah, I'd love to go. So this is our third date, and he starts introducing me as his fiance to everybody. Hello, everybody. I'd like to introduce you to my fiance.
But you haven't even seen his penis at this point.
No. But we did kiss. And I feel like the kiss is a prelude to what's to come, and it was very nice.
Okay, well, that's a nice story. I don't really buy that, but I'll go with it. Let's
It really
go.
is true, though. It really is true. And then everybody was like, you're his new girlfriend? Like, where's your ring? He's like, my father's a jeweler. Her father's a jeweler. The ring is the last thing on our mind. This is my fiance. Then P.S. a week later, he goes, I need you to meet my cousins because they want to be bridesmaids. Hence the point of this story.
Oh my gosh.
That's why they
You were
were
already locked into bridesmaids before you knew what his penis was.
Your bridesmaids?
just his two cousins.
See how it is? See, your first wedding, you do what,
Everybody
what
wants.
you're supposed to do. Second wedding, it's like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
I did everything my in-laws wanted. I mean, talk about obedience. And, when you're in love with somebody, as I know for a woman's perspective, you always want to make the man's family love you back, right? You want to win them over. So I was like trying so hard to really impress my in-laws because I wanted to make my husband happy. I want him to look at me and be like, wow, like what a rock star woman I picked, And actually we met Sunday before Labor Day. And we got married Sunday before Labor Day. 600 people at my wedding.
Save big on select LG appliances at Lowe's. Right now, shop deals on top items like the stainless steel kitchen suite featuring a counter-depth refrigerator with extra-large capacity and dishwasher that washes and dries dishes in just 1 hour. Plus, get free delivery when you spend $396 or more. Visit us in-store or online today to bring home LG appliances for less. Backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Exclusions apply. Exact products from qualifying retailers only. See Lowe's.com for details. Offer ends 3/8.
So, look at this. You're saying, it's all about the family. It's, I want to impress them. I want to make them happy. I want to make them proud.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, hey, I'm going to do this, which was already established out there. I'm going to do this crazy ass Housewives show.
Oh, yeah. They didn't like that.
None of them.
No. We come from a culture that's extremely private, extremely exaggerative. They exaggerate, they brag. I mean, you guys think I brag? I wasn't even aware I was bragging because at the end of the day, I really feel I was just stating facts. And if the facts that I was stating happen to be more than you and it intimidates somebody and they receive it as bragging, I get that. But saying I have 16 bathrooms is not bragging. It's really just a fact.
She was saying, how many bathrooms she has in her house. I think she made a mistake because when I went to her house, I counted. She has 17.
Oh, bitch, get your facts straight, okay?
It's like, these are not bragging, really. But anyway, so our culture, not only do they brag, but they exaggerate. If they spend $300 on something, they'll say they spent thousands. And I broke the mold because I'm like, dude, I got this at TJ Maxx for $19.99. Like, that's me. I tell people the truth. And my mom's like, you don't have to tell people you got that at TJ Maxx. They'll never know that you spent this much. Just say, and then I'm like, I don't want to be like that because I grew up in that culture and I hated it because I'm like, what's so embarrassing about saying the truth?
Yeah, right.
Like, I love it when people say that. I'm like high-fiving it. Yeah, let me get in on that.
That's why I'm always like, hey, I love my Forever 21 gear. I rock it all day long.
Right.
It cost me $6.99, bitch. What?
Yes, right?
Yes.
And then now you don't have to feel bad if you ruin
But
it.
Ben wears Chanel, Louis Vuitton.
I can wear anything I want. At this point in my life, I'm blessed to say that if I want it, I see it, I like it, I buy it, honey.
I like that. I see it, I like it, I want it, I buy it.
That's what she did with Bill.
From Ariana Grande. I don't know if it's in that order, but
I lick it, I suck it, I want it, I buy it. No,
there you go. No, I lick it, I suck it, I want it, I ride it.
I love that. I lick it, I suck it, I want it, I ride
Okay,
it.
she's memorizing this to say it in the bedroom tonight to
I'm gonna
Louis.
say it to Louis tonight.
She's like, okay, I lick it, I suck it, I lick it, I lick it, I suck it, I lick it. Okay, wait. So was Bill like F to the no? My family, I have a practice. I'm like established. You're not going on this shit show, crazy ass housewife show.
Well, this is the thing. So when I lived in Michigan for 2 years. Bill had a fellowship when he was doing his plastics fellowship. He matched in Michigan.
Ooh.
So we had to move. I had Jacob, my third child, in Michigan, which is when Housewives was like starting. It's like right in the beginning. And I didn't really catch on. I didn't really watch. But when I would watch, because, when you're with babies at home.
That's all you do. Yeah, it's in the background. Holy.
I mean, mostly it was Nickelodeon and Dora. But I had this little room off the kitchen that was an office that I used for me to watch TV while my kids were growing up on Backyardigans and Little Einsteins and all that. And I used to think, these women get paid? They get paid to do that? It's just being themselves. You don't have to memorize any lines. And I always said that, like, I was an aspiring, I never did anything to aspire to be, but I had dreams of becoming like an actress when I was younger. Because I was always very theatrical and very animated. And everybody told me, like, you're so outgoing, you should be an actress. And I went on a commercial. I begged my mom when I was 13 or 14 to take me on a commercial. She did it to appease me, to shut me up. It was Polio Regatta cheese. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Guys, to shut me up because she thought there's no way they would pick me. P.S. They picked me.
No.
Oh.
But she said no, because she said she was afraid that it would actually become a success. And she said, if you become an actress, you'll be a slut and a whore and nobody will ever want to marry you.
What?
And yeah.
And you go, what's wrong with being a slut and a whore?
I always wanted to be an actress. No, I was the prudest. I was so fucking prude, Mel. You don't even know. Like, my nickname in high school, like my friends in my class used to call me Wet Paint. And I used to say, why do you call me Wet Paint? And he's like, because you can't touch wet paint.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I like that. I would want to be called Wet Paint.
I was such a prude. Such a freaking prude. I was afraid. My mom was like, if you're not a virgin when you're not married, they will return you.
My father used to tell me the same thing. So he used to be like, I'm going to take you to doctors the day before you get married to make sure that you're a virgin.
So were you a virgin when you married Bill?
So I don't talk about it at all because I find talking about anything before Bill is just like disrespectful to us because of our culture, where we come from. But what I will say is that Bill's very happy with me. And I was not a slut. I was big time prude. That's what I'll say about that.
That's how I work it, because she goes, lick it, suck it, bite it, ride it, but da.
We can make a rhyme out of it. Yeah. So, and again, when I joined the show, of course, there was a lot of, are you really going to do this? Our culture, we don't tell anybody. We exaggerate, we brag, we lie. I said, yeah, but that's everything that I actually don't agree with. And I've always lived my life as an open book. So to me, it makes no difference when the cameras are there. I mean, I act exactly the same on camera as I do off camera. Teresa will tell you.
So Bill, he was fine. He's like, do your thing, but I don't want to be a part of it.
So when they casted me on the show and I got the contract, it was a preliminary contract. There was a lot of things. So the contract that we get is a universal generic contract for all reality talent. It goes across the board. It wasn't a specific contract for Housewives of New Jersey. It was a universal reality contract. And there were things in that contract that were crazy. Like, I agree to defamation of character. I agree to cameras in places that I wouldn't think that cameras are. And like, there was all these things. And I called my producer, and because my husband was like, you can't in your right mind want to sign this. You're like a well-respected, reputable woman in our town. We don't need it. Like, why would you even want to sign this? And part of me felt embarrassed in front of him, right? So I called my producer and I'm like, can we just take a few of these things out? Can you redline them? And she said, look, this is a universal contract. These clauses do not pertain to our show specifically. I will have you know that anyone that you see that's on the show has signed this contract. You either want it or you don't. And at that point, I felt put on the spot and I felt like my integrity was on the line. So I felt like it was kind of like a game of who's going to give in first. And I said, well, I can't sign it then, right? So they said, okay, bye. Bye, Jennifer Aydin. And they left and they started filming. And all of these memes on my phone were saying, you are conflicted with a big decision and don't listen to the noise and follow your gut. And I was like, oh my God, like God is sending me messages. So like 1 week into filming, I go to Bill into his office and I said, look, I love you. I've never asked you for anything. I've always catered to all of your needs. We have 5 children, but I not only want to do this, but I'm going to do this with or without you.
What did he say?
He looked at me and he was like, I didn't know you wanted it that bad. I said, I do. I need to be honest with myself. I need to be honest with you. I want it that bad. I know I'm going to be fucking great.
And she is.
You're either with me or you're not. And whatever comes from that at this point, this is how important it is to me. So he said, okay. So I call back my producer and I'm like, hey guys, you know what? My bad. And then they go, whoa. No. Jennifer Aydin, you said no to a preliminary contract that was only 3 weeks. What if you say no to the contract that comes after this? We can't risk wasting 3 weeks of footage and time and money on you for the risk that you're going to say no. And I'm like, look, I know I haven't proven myself. I know you guys don't trust me. So she's like, I'm going to have to come back with you at this. Waited a few days. She calls me back and she goes, you know what? I'm so sorry, but we are not going to move forward with you.
No way.
I was like, really? She was like, really, really? And I was like, all right, well, you know, I guess maybe consider me for next year, you know, hopefully no hard feelings. And we hung up the phone and the person who casted me, I sent her a very long text. I said, look, I want to say thank you for everything that you've done. I want to say I really appreciate it. And I know that I am not trustworthy to you guys. And I know trust is something that comes with time. But if you come back to me this time next year, I promise you I will not say no. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And that was it. And I feel like in life, you catch more bees with honey. So I always want to leave things off on a good note. And then I actually spoke to Jacqueline Larita. I spoke with Jacqueline. I had never met her in person.
Why did you speak with Jacqueline?
So my son was very good friends with a kid in my old town who had autism. And they had a charity that they were creating called Best Buddies. Best Buddies is basically when a child with autism gets like a big brother or buddy type of person in a school, and then they do activities together. And I was helping her with Best Buddies. But the year after, which was the year that I was asked to do the show, the woman from the Best Buddies was asking me to be an ambassador. And I said, look, I love helping the cause, but I don't have anybody that has autism in my circle. So I feel like I won't be as relatable. And then she asked me if I can connect her with Jacqueline because Jacqueline had Nicholas. And I had Jacqueline's number through Kathy. I asked Kathy because at the time I was friends with the Wakilis. The Wakilis' daughter worked at our office, Aydin Plastic Surgery.
Whoa.
Yes. Victoria Wakili was working at Aydin Plastic Surgery before.
Did you know this, Teresa?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. She knows that I was friends with the Wakilis. We have a friendly relationship. I mean, we weren't like always hanging out, but we were always like friendly with them. We went out to dinner with them.
The Wakilis were already off the show at this point.
They were. It had nothing to do with the show. It was more about our connection through the practice.
Got it.
And I connected her with Jacqueline. And then somehow Jacqueline and I had gotten on a phone call and she saw my personality and she was friends with Lucilla, who was the producer when Teresa was on, but she wasn't the producer when I was on. And she was like, I'm going to call Lucilla and tell them that they need to like reconsider you.
Jacqueline saying this.
Jacqueline was saying that. So Jacqueline's calling Lucilla. My casting person was calling my producers.
I didn't know this.
Yes. So then finally, like 3 days later, my producers call me.
See, Jacqueline knew too. She saw it in you that you were going to be good.
So thank you to Jacqueline. And so my producer calls me up and she goes, hello, we're on a conference call. We have the whole Bravo network here. And my producer said, I want you to call your casting person and give her a big thank you because she's been blowing up our phone nonstop telling us to reconsider. So we will reconsider you coming on for 3 weeks at no pay. And then we can assess after the 3 weeks. And I said, done. I'm on.
And had you ever seen the show?
If I wanted to watch it, I had to watch it in real time with kids in the background. And it would usually be at night when I would be putting my kids to sleep. I would put it on low so that they could sleep and I could just watch. And it's so funny because actually the year Siggy was on, so we moved to Jersey. We lived in Jersey. Bill knew I wanted to be a housewife. He was like, it's not happening. And then we're watching Reunion, right? We're watching Reunion. Olivia's a baby. She sleeps in between us. He's on his laptop. All three of us are in bed, and I'm watching Siggy and Margaret go at it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
"You killed the bear. And then she was like, they're going crazy. And Bill's on his laptop tuning it out. But every now and then he's looking up. And after like 2 minutes, he goes, I would kill you if you ever acted like that. I'm like, what's wrong with acting like that? What's wrong with it? They make up confrontation, but then they make up after. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't. Like, they're just making up. Like, I feel it's normal.
Fast forward to all this. Is Bill ever like, I'm going to fucking kill you?
No, Bill loves it now. I don't know if he's a team player. He shows up for me. He fucking went through that whole ordeal last year.
I don't know if he loves it, but he supports his wife. He
Yeah. I mean, I feel like now he likes it.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot more. But in the beginning, it was hard for him.
He wants to make Jennifer happy, whatever. I love a husband like that. Yeah.
He never yells at me for the way that I behave.
Remember that scene at my house, the pool party? And Jennifer got so wasted. She ended up throwing up in his Ferrari.
He carried me to the bathtub. He carried my shower. And I was in the fetal position in my shower. And he's literally washing me with the handheld version.
So sweet. And then I asked her, I'm like, Jen, did he get mad at you? She's like, no. I'm like, I fucking love Bill. I'm like, I love him.
But by the way, wasn't it the season before the guys are carrying his drunk ass over their shoulder?
That's very true, Melissa. Yes.
See? You're like, okay, now we're even.
No, but I like that. I like that they both let loose.
At the end of the day, he knows that's not my normal jam.
Yeah.
He knows that I don't drink too often. And then when I do, sometimes like when we get over ourselves, we get a little over ourselves.
So wait, you're signing up for the show and then you meet this one.
Teresa, yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, this crazy bitch. Because you had seen the show.
Well, I've seen the show.
Oh yeah, let's hear what you thought of me. Okay.
Honest.
When I saw the show, obviously when I started really getting into it, it was more the year that Melissa had come on. And I used to always think, like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like if that was my sister-in-law, I would want her on my show. Like, why wouldn't I want my family on the show? Because that's allies. But I never knew the backstory. Like once I became close with Teresa and she started opening up to me about the history behind it all, she was like, Jen, I always wanted a sister. Like, I tried to befriend Melissa, but because she had sisters, she was always choosing her sisters and not me. And after a while, I got the memo and I let it go. And then once I was on the show, she started coming around acting like she was my bestie. And I was like, it doesn't work that way. And I get that. I totally get that. But you don't see that when the show starts.
Right,
all you see is Teresa seeming like she's a hater.
Totally.
And not wanting her family around. But nobody knows the behind the scenes because back then, guess what? They never broke fourth wall.
Ever.
Yeah, no. That you could never even talk about
So
the show.
now that I see it, like Teresa's ambushed with family, like literally, hey, new housewives, your cousin and your sister-in-law. And boom, cameras are on you and let's start rolling. And Teresa's like in this tough spot. Like, do I get mad at them and show my real feelings? No, because I don't want to make my family look bad. I love my family.
Right.
And she kept her mouth shut. And I think like the shock that she had, I think at that christening, now that I watch it back in hindsight, it gives me chills when I see it. Cause I'm like, oh my God, like you can see the surprise in her eyes.
You know the true story.
What's going on here? Like I just said hi to you in the church. And then Joe's like, walk away. And I'm just like, and I asked Teresa, when they were at the church with you, were they nasty to you? And she was like, no, like they didn't start getting nasty until the cameras were.
Yeah, no, I said congratulations to them at the church. And then when I got to the reception, the producers came up to me. They're like, did you say congratulations to your brother and Melissa? And I said, yes. I said, at the church. They're like, well, we didn't get that on camera because we weren't at the church.
Right.
So that's why I had to go up to them again. And I said it again because they wanted to get it for camera purposes, you know?
Yeah.
So when I went up to him, then he said whatever he said, all that stuff. And I was like, what?
But Jennifer, like all of us watching, like I was like, why is she being a dick to her sister-in-law and her brother? Because that's the story that was out there. And I've told Teresa this, like, I don't get it. Why is she being like this? They really make it like Melissa and Joe are these like victims and she's like this villain.
I was definitely a fan. I'm telling you, like, I was like, I love them. Like
Melissa and Joe.
yeah, Melissa and Joe. Like Joe is charismatic, like, you know, like Melissa. And then Melissa on camera, it always seemed like she was trying. And Teresa always looked irritated by her. Now I know why.
Save big on select LG appliances at Lowe's. Right now, shop deals on top items like the stainless steel kitchen suite featuring a counter-depth refrigerator with extra large capacity and dishwasher that washes and dries dishes in just 1 hour. Plus, get free delivery when you spend $396 or more. Visit us in-store or online today to bring home LG appliances for less. Backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Exclusions apply. Exact products from qualifying retailers only. See Lowe's.com for details. Offer ends 3/8.
So you joined season 5 or no?
I joined season 9.
9. Okay, math, Melissa.
You're
Every other number but 9. So were you like, ugh, Teresa, cool, Melissa and Joe? Wait, where were you meeting these
You know
people?
what? I'm like joining the show. I'm going to be myself and be nice and welcoming to everybody. Hopefully they like me. Hopefully they all fall in love with the fabulousness of me. And I'm going to be my own judge. I was kind of nervous that Teresa wouldn't like me because a lot of people were posting pictures of Kathy and I. And I didn't want her to think that I was like going to come in here and try to push Kathy on everybody because I wouldn't do that. Like, I don't want to like get involved or try to make a mess of things. Plus, Kathy and I, you know, we weren't that close. I mean, I adored her. We went to her restaurant. So we took a picture at her restaurant and that picture was out and people were saying that like, I was going to try to bring Kathy back on the show and all this stuff. So, and I know that Teresa, after going through everything that she's been through, that she probably has her guard up. She's probably not going to be as trusting right away. Like me, I'm very naive. I haven't had people burn me.
So then, Teresa, what made you start liking her if you're like, she knows Kathy?
I know where it is. So at this point, we go to, here's my memory come into play. We go to Oklahoma and I think,
oh my God, Oklahoma.
I think the producers thought that I would end up getting along better with Melissa because when we're on a cast trip in the morning, we end up figuring out what our tasks are going to be for the day. Like what are our activities and who we're paired with. So in the morning, they told me that I was going to go shooting with Melissa in the morning. Then P.S. we filmed our Oklahoma breakfast where Melissa was telling Teresa, like, I can't control my man. And Teresa was like, you could control him.
Yeah.
And that's when I chimed in and I was like, actually, I do believe that a woman has the power to not control her man, but
Melissa says that too. This Melissa.
Yeah. You can get him in check.
You know, I think that women definitely hold a lot of power when they're talking to the man and
their balls, the power in the balls.
Yeah, like, you know, like I told Teresa, it's from my big fat Greek wedding, you know, the woman is the neck. The man is the head of the family, but the woman is the neck.
Yes, and everything else.
Yeah, Melissa wants to move to Jersey half of the year and the other half in California. I'm like, your husband likes California. She's like, my husband does what I say.
My husband likes sex and blowjobs too.
Yes.
Okay. So.
And then P.S. at the Oklahoma breakfast, when I ended up agreeing with Teresa, and when we were getting ready for activity, my producer came in the room and she goes, change of plans. You're going fishing with Teresa. The producers saw a natural connection between Teresa and I. And Teresa was like, thank you. You get me. Like, I don't even know you. I remember her saying that, like, I don't even know you and you get me.
Exactly.
And then the more I got to know Teresa and the more that I saw every time her kids call, she answers no matter what. And that's me. And I know that sounds like, doesn't everybody? But no, my mom growing up, if she was on the other line and I was calling her call waiting, she would feel embarrassed to tell the person, hold on. So she would never answer the other line. She was always embarrassed to tell people to hold on. I'm like, dude, I'm your kid. Your fucking kids are calling. So I saw this behavior, like how she like, you know, Nona was always around, how she was taking care of her father. And like, I take care of my family. And I just saw so many similarities. And it's like, the more time went on, the more our relationship grew. And I feel that I've won her trust. Yes, Teresa?
Yes.
Because Teresa's very, you know, at the end of the day, she's been burned by very close people in her life. So I get it.
No, and we were both similar. Like, that's why, like when she said that, like, you know, when they say that is the show real, it is real because she was being her authentic self, and the producers saw an authentic, real connection between the two of us.
Do you think they saw the connection, or do you think Melissa said, I'm good with this chick, put her somewhere else?
That
Or
I don't know.
both?
It's a very valid question. I mean, at that point in time, I don't think Melissa cared either way. Melissa's the type, sometimes she's just going there to do her job. She barely talks.
If she says to the producers, I don't want to go fishing with her, that could, but really it was that we really genuinely had a real connection. I mean, that was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
No, but Melissa, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it was a real authentic, like that.
It was genuine. It was genuine.
Yeah, no, I get that. My first thought when you're telling me the story is that Melissa was like, you know what? I don't like this bitch. She's not siding with me. Put her somewhere else.
Okay. And just say she did say that, then that's where the decision was made. Like I like Jen because we totally connected. I was like, oh my gosh, she understands me. Like we see eye to eye. Like I'm all about that. Like we have the same values. We mother the same. We take care of our family the same.
So many people tell me that I remind them of Teresa when she was first on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know how I'm so family orientated, how I'm always like trying to do everything for my kids. I feel like I'm the glue that holds my family together. I find it true for Teresa as well.
Most women are.
Everything that's happened up until now, at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge that Teresa has tried so hard to keep the family that's left here on this earth together.
Right.
She's constantly tried, and it just, it's an unfortunate situation of where they are at now, but she's bit her tongue a lot. And I always tell her, like, don't ever, people would always be like, oh, Teresa doesn't stick up for you like you stick up for her. I'm like, do you realize this is her family, right? I would never ask my friend to fight with their family on my behalf.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't want that. I would rather not be friends with you than you lose family because of me.
You see, that's a true friend.
I get it. Teresa and I were just talking about it. It doesn't mean that you're kissing ass. It means you're just a true friend.
Oh, and that's another thing. Like people call her my soldier. Like what? Like we have a really true friendship. Like I love hanging out with Jen. I swear. First of all, if I didn't like her, I would not hang out with her.
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
ain't hang out with her without the camera on.
I'm not like that. Like, and I'm not just doing
So
it.
honest with each other.
And I'm not doing that because of the show. Like I'm not strategic like that. If I don't like you, I don't want to spend time with you. I don't. We have so much fun together. We laugh together. Our friendship reminds me of me and Jacqueline.
Save big on select LG appliances at Lowe's. Right now, shop deals on top items like the stainless steel kitchen suite featuring a counter-depth refrigerator with extra large capacity and dishwasher that washes and dries dishes in just 1 hour. Plus, get free delivery when you spend $396 or more. Visit us in-store or online today to bring home LG appliances for less. Backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Exclusions apply. Exact products from qualifying retailers only. See Lowe's.com for details. Offer ends 3/8.
Jennifer, because you've been obviously through a lot. Teresa's been through a lot. Like you've been through a lot on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever a point when you were like, what am I doing? Or Bill was like, what are we doing?
For me, no, because you know what? The stories that I'm willing to share is real life, everyday stories. And there's power in that. Why would I shun away from it? The most difficult thing for me is to ask my family, friends, and people who love me to accept it because it's very hard for them to watch.
Right.
It's very hard for them to see me going through pain. I remember last year when we were filming and I was crying a lot.
Was this after the stuff with Bill?
Yeah, it was during filming that I really had to process everything and tell my family and tell my kids. And, sometimes just saying the words out loud would make my lips quiver and me breaking down. And I'm not one, like I cry at like the sad commercials, right? But I'm not a crier. And my sister, I remember one day she looked at me and she goes, Jen, is this show something that you really want? Because I've never seen you cry so much. And I said, you're right. And as sad as I look, I want you all to know that I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing because it's a gift to be able to be completely candid and honest on camera without any filter is a gift. And not everybody has it. Bill struggles with it. People get awkward on camera. Like they think, let me show things that they think people want to see.
Right.
No, I think let me show people what's actually happening so that they can relate. Do you know how many messages I got I had one message that really struck me. She told me, I'm so glad you stayed with your husband. I left my husband because I let my pride and what people thought of me get in the way, and I left a good man, and I've been alone for the last 20 years, and I'm so sad.
Oh, I just got the chills.
I'm going to die by myself. So please don't ever give up on your family. Don't ever give up on your husband. Because you know what, Melissa? A lot of times people break up because they're afraid of what people are going to think, right? Oh
Right.
my God.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
staying with him after he cheated.
What a cheater. Like, she's so weak. Like, how could she do that? Da, 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 da. And they get embarrassed and they think, you know what? I can't look like a chump in front of people. I have to divorce. No, you don't. You don't. When you love people, when you have love, any type of relationship, whether it's siblings, parents, husbands, they take work, they take compromise. And you know what? We fuck up every once in a while. We have to assess. Is he beating me? No. He's not a bad person. He did a bad thing.
None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect.
Do you think being on the show has made it harder, though, for you to get past it and forgive him? Because, like, it's out there everywhere. You're replaying it on the show. You have to watch it. You have to talk about it.
No, because I had already forgiven him way back when, and he did earn his trust back. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, okay, let's kiss and make up and I'm going to forget about this. It was at least a year. I mean, and we know all each other's security codes. There is no secrets. I see the credit card. If I want to log on and see all my credit card bills, I can, and I did. And I was cold, and he really was truly remorseful. So it took a while for us to get to a place. And my way of coping with it was, I'm never going to mention this ever again. Let's just forget it ever happened. It's a chapter. It's closed. Let's move on. And I was never the wife that threw it in his face.
Right.
If we went out somewhere and he was maybe a little too, like, his girls would flirt with him all the time. We'd go to a Christmas party. They'd be like, I love your husband. I'd be
Yeah.
Stop it. Keep your hands off. You know, but I would never come home and say, look at your behavior, like you're going to cheat on me again. I never brought it up again because I knew that's not a healthy way to move on.
I have to say, I know Jen really well.
I never ever brought it up.
And you never think, there's not a doubt in your mind that he would ever do anything again. Like, you trust him 110%.
I trust him 110%. And I tell him now, if he ever did it to me again, instead of forcing him, forget killing him, I do it right back at him. Right back at him.
Some hot little number.
I'd pick his best friend. Or even better, his worst enemy. And trust me, it's going to hurt you a lot more than it hurt me.
Totally.
And he looks at me like, he gets eerily thinking that I'm a psycho, but I think part of that
Teresa, we talk about this all the time. They need to know a little bit that you're a psycho.
I think that turns him on.
They need to know this.
I think Louis seen me in action when I do everything on Margaret. So he knows a little bit, you know.
Threaten him a little bit. You got to have the little bit of fear of God.
I tell him, like, bitch, I get half.
There you go.
Yeah. And listen, a lot of guys stay with their wives because they don't want to give half.
They don't want to give half.
Totally.
Right? So a lot of guys stay with their wives too.
It was more about my kids knowing.
Yeah, well, for sure. And they're old enough to get it and to know.
Oh my God, Olivia found out on a TikTok. There was a TikTok article that talked about the infidelity.
Yeah, very sad.
And then she actually commented on the video. So she comes to me to show me the TikTok and she goes, but don't worry, mommy. I commented and I said, that's my mommy and Baba. And this is not true. And I asked her to do it immediately. And I said, you know, we're filming and, you know, this is because of the show. I made it seem like it was because of the show. So she deleted it. And then sometime later, I had to sit her down and tell her. And she looked at me and she was like, so that TikTok was true?
That's nothing's worse than that.
No, there is something worse than that. Ready? So sometime later, she sees a TikTok about how Tristan cheated on Chloe. And she's showing it to me. And she's like, Mommy, look, he cheated on her when she was pregnant. And I said, I know, that's so sad, right? And she paused for a second. She looked at me and she goes, Mommy, do all men cheat?
That's horrible.
I'm like, all humans make mistakes. I'm like, I can't say that everybody cheats because, you know, you never know. But you would hope that people, when they make mistakes, that they learn from them.
Has Bill ever talked to them, or has it been like you having to kind of take it?
No, he spoke to Justin, and he told the kids that if they wanted to speak to him about anything that they could. But I think it's just they're going through the same way that I am. Nobody wants to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. This was 10 years ago, now 11.
It's insane. 11 years ago.
Okay. As long as mommy is okay, my children will be okay.
And as long and if they see like their mommy happy and they know everything's fine, like they
Totally, you're the example.
What sucks now is that every time Bill and I do argue, Olivia somehow starts rushing into the room and she'll say something like, "Remember, you two love each other. And, you shouldn't be fighting." And she'll grab my hand and his hand and she puts them together and she goes, "Tell me that you guys have made up." And I'm like, "Baby, we're literally fighting over something
that's so cute."
She gets a little nervous now when she sees us fighting. So that's the only downfall of it. And there is something that's very massive, actually, that has not been revealed yet. It will be on the show on how this exposing of the infidelity has affected Olivia. And you guys are going to see it and you're not going to be happy.
There's a lot of drama. But by the way, because, it also made me think about all this, asking you, because your tagline this season, payback's a bitch, so start barking.
Woof, woof, baby. Woof, woof.
So who are we? We're not talking about Bill.
No. We're just talking about anybody in general who has tried to come for me. The crying has stopped. I mean, I'm assuming, again, we don't write our own taglines. I'm sure Melissa, at this point, they give us a whole bunch to record. We do have the discretion to say, like, I don't like that. That doesn't ring true to me. I'm not going to do it. When I heard this one, I was actually like, I like the other one better. I recorded one that was, "You need to get a life," because mine's already taken. Like that.
Right. No, this one's better.
So basically, I'm the payback. I'm
That's
the bitch.
for you.
Hi, that's me. Nice to meet you. I'm bitch. You're namaste, bitches. It's basically a chance to all my bitches out there that I am like, calling to action, all my bitches out there to get out there and give their payback. And listen, my payback, I give what I get.
Ditto.
And that's why, like, this season, because like last season, I was quiet. I was crying all the time. Even at reunion, like, I was muted because I really felt the punch in the gut. I did.
You did get punched in the gut, but you're like Teresa. Teresa's like, listen, I don't bark first.
Right.
But if you bark at me, I'm going to come back with like a fucking sledgehammer to your face. So I get, what I appreciate though, Jennifer, people have obviously very strong
it's
opinions.
For anybody who has done me wrong.
What I appreciate, love or hate, I appreciate like what you give to my girl and the friendship and the realness, because whether you're on a fucking TV show or not, I can tell it's just hard to find anyone that's real and that has your back.
Yeah. Like if the TV show ended tomorrow, Jen and I, we would always be friends.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate.
I'm never going to go against you unless,
Never.
and then I'm just letting her know, I never throw the first punch. So
people want to sit there and think that people care about the seating at reunion, right? It's always about the seating at reunion. Like, where did everybody sit? Who's first chair? Who's this? I've told Teresa and my producers and my lawyers time and time again, the only place I care to sit is next to my girl.
That's nice.
Okay. So I don't care to be first chair. Right. I don't want to be opposing her. I want to be on the.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, our friendship is really real. And I feel like I think people know that, but they don't want to like say it.
Oh my God. Yeah. When we were filming Reunion, where we were all wearing white, I remember Jackie was first chair next to Andy. And as she was passing me, she was like mumbling under her breath, "I like my seat." And Andy heard her. And then I go, "They could hear me just as loud from the back, honey, if not louder." And then Andy kind of scolded her. He was like, "Don't do that. Don't do that. It doesn't matter where you sit. Don't do that."
Well, listen, I love, love, love your friendship. I love, love, love you, Jennifer Aydin. This was so awesome.
And it's so crazy, the haters that we have, because, I've been posting for the NJ Earthquake Relief Fund, right? Please, if anyone who wants to donate, anyone who's listening, you go to www.njearthquakerelief.org. Please, 100% of the donations is used to buying supplies. We just purchased 105 tents.
Oh, amazing.
And 1,000 sleeping bags.